everybody. Thanks so much for showing up for today's showing up. You show up, you're attending. Thank you for attending today's webinar. Today's webinar is about MQ Trader Pro, and it's presented by our very own David Derricott, and it'll be starting here in about 6 minutes and 38 seconds. My name is Greg Lewis. I'm the director of MetaStock, and speaking of MetaStock, if you've never heard of us, we are purveyors of charting and analysis software and marketing data for traders, active traders just like yourself. If you're interested in finding out more about MetaStock, of course, David will be talking about it in his presentation today. I think he probably even has a super special offer at the end of the presentation. But if you just can't wait, go to metastock.com and you can find out more about MetaStock there. I feel like there was other stuff I was going to talk to you about. Oh, hello, Dan666 Mega. Thank you for reminding me, Dan. That's another thing. As you're coming on today, make sure you say hello to us. Let us know how you're doing. Let us know where you're from. And I think the question of the day is, do you like this jazzy intro music we always play? What about this jazzy intro music we always play? Another question of the day is my microphone on? I think it is. It appears to be. Hello. All right, and another thing I was going to mention. Oh, here's the other thing I was going to mention. We have coming up another Trader Summit. Let me see if I can get that viewed a little bit better for you. Give me a second, please. Go to the top of that. All right. This is the Online Trader Summit. This time we're just going to have 3 presenters rather than 8 or so, which is our typical thing. That is because of something I'm not even sure I can tell you yet about, but we have a very special thing coming up in November. And in presentation for that, we sort of did this Trader Summit on a smaller scale. But it still has great speakers, and they shouldn't be diminished. That has Rahul Mohindar and Price Headley and our own Jeff Gibby. And to register for that, all you need to do is go to metastock.com and click on the banner at the very top, and you can register for this, or just come over here to YouTube. It's October 24th. It starts at 10 a.m. Eastern on Saturday, and we hope to see you there. Okay, we still have about 4 minutes and 35 seconds. A couple other things. Dan says, wonderful jazz. Okay, yeah. We've been using that intro for about 3 years now, and it's getting a little it's starting to wear on my ears. I don't know about yours, but I was thinking of changing it today, but you tell me. Hello, Sumit, and thank you for joining today, and he has questions already. That's great, Sumit. David will answer those questions as soon as he comes online here in about 4 minutes, and I think that was everything I was going to say. Do remember that this is being recorded right here on YouTube, so if you want to watch it later, you can just rewind what you're doing here. Also, don't forget to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel so you'll be told right away and notified when we have these. We do these webinars like this 2 or 3 times a week, depending, and you never want to miss one. So, all right, we'll be starting in about 3 minutes. I'll mute myself now and make sure Dave's set to go on the other end.
Yeah, I can hear you. Let me start.
The broadcast is now starting. All attendees are in listen-only mode.
Get started.
Hello, hello. Okay, now my sound's up. All right, hey everybody, thanks so much for attending today. Today's presenter is our very own David Derricott. Dave's been with the company for, I know exactly how long Dave's been with the company. He's been here for about 15 years because I've been here for 15 years and he got here just a few months before me. Right, Dave?
Yep.
Yep. Dave is, I've got to say, in the history of the company, he's got to be within the top 5 sales guys. Am I wrong, Dave?
Top. And usually it's the first or second.
Dang right. That's our very own David Derricott. But seriously, if you added up all the guys that ever did sales in this company for the last 30 years, I have to say, in terms of success, revenue, product knowledge, customer satisfaction, David would be in their top 5. I guarantee it. He's too modest to say. But anyway, I won't. Is there anything else I should mention? Oh, and Dave is broadcasting us from his home today. I'm broadcasting. I'm Greg Lewis, the marketing manager. I'm broadcasting from our little control room here at MetaStock. And Dave, I don't think there's anything else I need to say. If you want to go ahead and give us the disclosure and get on your way.
All right. Well, let's go ahead and get started. Thanks everybody for joining us today. And if you ever have any audio or visual problems, let us know so we can correct that. But let me just go through the disclosure, and we'll get going. So the demonstration is designed to instruct you on using MetaStock and accompanying software plugins, and then is not a recommendation to buy or sell, but rather guidelines to interpreting and using these specific indicators and features within the software. The information, software, and techniques presented today should only be used by investors who are aware of the risk inherent in trading. MetaStock shall have no liability for any investment decisions based on the use of their software, any trading strategies, or any information provided in connection with the company. And then the other disclaimer is the risk with options. It's basically saying the same thing. I don't have to go through and read all that, but it's just based on the CFTC rule 4.41. So with that being said, let's go ahead and just jump right into the rest of the PowerPoint. So today I'm going to talk to you about MQ Trender Pro. I did this webinar as well last month. Hopefully some of you have seen it, or if you didn't, you'll be able to obviously see this recording. But I really like this add-on. It's one of my favorites. I've been using it since it was released. We started selling this with MetaStock about, I want to say about 6 months ago, maybe 7. And it's actually a really easy add-on to understand and follow. And the signals are very clear. They're also really, really good. It comes with like scanning. It has, you can see by the chart there, excuse me, scanning back, not backtesting, excuse me, scanning and then the signals when to buy and sell. You can use Explorer, obviously, and it's got its own expert signals. So let's go ahead and just dive in. This was actually created by a company called MicroQuant. And they actually have a trading room boot camp, whatever, however you want to word it. But the person that created, his name is Thomas Wood. I'll just go ahead and just read his little bio. He's a professional trader with over 15 years of experience trading the markets. He has traded both professionally and personally as a hedge fund manager. He started his career at wealth management firm, created a hedge fund at the age of 26, and eventually settled as a head trader at MicroQuant. So and they call it base camp trading, sorry, not boot camp. And they have basically like tons and tons of people that they have taught how to use, and this is one of the indicators that they use in their classes. And so they use MetaStock as well in their training, and so we started selling it as a part of one of our add-ons. So, and there's just a picture of it. So I want to kind of go over what things are going to look like inside of MetaStock really quick, and then I'll pull up MetaStock and kind of give you some examples of what I'm talking about. So they use a different type of color coding system, and I actually quite like it a lot. So he has like a strong bearish, a strong neutral, and a strong bullish. So he kind of paints, and I'm going to open up MetaStock right now. He paints the colors on the charts a lot more, I guess, bright or thicker, however you want to word it, when it's a very strong bullish, bearish, or neutral. So let me just pop up in MetaStock really quick. Okay, now let's go and open up a chart. So, and let me kind of start over for those that may not have MetaStock. to open up charts or run scans or anything like that, you just click on this red P out here on the top left. This is my power console is what we call it. So let's go ahead and open up some stocks. And yeah, and then you'll notice that I'm putting a .o at the end of each symbol, and the reason why is because I'm opening up the stocks that are on the NASDAQ, and we do that because we provide data globally, so all over the world, you know, over in Asia, Europe, etc. And some of the symbols are going to trade across different countries, and so we want to make sure we're using the correct symbol for the US one. So then to actually, there's a couple ways that you can open up your charts. You just come over here and click open chart, press enter, however you want to do it. I'm just going to open it up as kind of a clean chart is what I would call it. I almost have the wrong symbol, so just 1 second. Oh, I didn't need a .o on the NIO symbol. So then you can kind of organize them. I'll just put these side by side. This is a hourly candlestick chart, and if you want to kind of zoom in, you can just come over here and zoom in like this. I'm not going to spend a ton of time on the usage of MetaStock because I want to spend most of the time with the micro quant. So I'm just going to switch them both back to daily. I had them on hourly earlier. To apply the micro quant add-on, you just right click and choose apply template, and that will come up with a big list. I'm going to scroll down this list until I hit the M's. And he's got a couple different templates here. So he's got the MQ, MT, P2, black. That's just one single chart. And then he has a monthly, weekly, daily, black, a monthly, weekly, daily, white. And then he has a weekly, daily, black and white, and then just a regular white chart if you want to use just the white background. So you just double click on it and it'll open the chart. And this is the part that I was referring to when you see these really bright green bars right here. I'm actually going to change this to candlesticks. To do that, you just right click on the chart and choose candlesticks and then click OK. So now you can see them how really bright they are, like right in this area. And then you have this little gray area that's kind of like a neutral. I'm going to go over it as well. But yeah, so you've got like your strong bullish and then your strong bearish when they're really bright like that. So hopping back over to the PowerPoint really quick. Then on top of that, you've got, like I said, your neutral bearish. So you'll see in this one, I'm not really seeing a ton. Well, here's one. Here's a neutral bearish right here. And then you've got your green is kind of like your neutral, just like your neutral area. So kind of like a sideways market type of situation. One thing I do like about this is it's got a really detailed expert commentary window. So if you right click on the chart and do expert advisor, come over here to commentary, and it'll open up our commentary window. And then I just like mine attached to the chart. But what's really nice is if you don't remember the color coding on it, you can always come over here and attach it, and it'll tell you like what it's on, if it's a really strong bullish, strong bearish, whatever it is. And so let's just come back over to the PowerPoint so I can finish that part. Sorry, I keep popping open that other one. So then on top of that, he has the extended bullish and the extended bearish, which you can see the little gray bars, excuse me, candlesticks right here. So when those are extended, that means that the price is most likely going to continue to go up. So this was actually the last trade that I took with microquant. I actually got in about right here, and I'm still in actually. So I haven't actually gotten out of that because it keeps going into like an extended bearish or extended bullish kind of thing. And when you get those extensions, it doesn't necessarily mean for you to get out, but you could tighten your stop. And a lot of the times you'll see on the chart right here is a good example. You'll see L trail. That just means it's a trailing stop loss is what you're going to put in there. So if you want to put in a stop loss at that point, you can. And this one kind of went down a little bit, but then it went right back up, which is why it hasn't gotten me out of the trade yet. So I want to finish talking about this really quick. So like I showed you on the chart already, where the chart is yellow, for example, right here, that's your trailing stop is what that signifies. And then, oops, sorry. So that's how the charts are. That's how they're color coded. You got your bright colors are your strong bullish or bearish, your bright color for neutral. So if you're just kind of on the sidelines and you shouldn't be in the trade at that point, where it's just neutral, it's not really going in any direction. It's really kind of just consolidating. Then you've got your neutral bearish and neutral bullish, you know, where it's kind of like right here in this area. It's not really telling you to get out, and it's kind of going sideways. So it's really deciding on where it's going to go at that point. And then you've got your extended bullish, your gray. So excuse me. And then you've got your trail stop bullish and bearish. So you have a lot of different colors. And I know sometimes people will tell me, oh, this looks really, really confusing with all the colors. Once you get the hang of it and understand it, it's actually really simple and easy to follow. And the other thing that I can do as well, if you need it, I can actually send you the slide with all of the color coding, what they mean and everything like that. So with that being said, that's basically an overview of the MQ Trender Pro. Like I said, it's a really neat little add-on. I like it quite a bit. Obviously, it's a good add-on to have, especially when you're trading what I have right here. And it works with any market. That's what's really nice. You could do Forex, you could do futures. Let's actually pop in a couple future symbols for those that trade futures, and I'll also open up a Forex one. So I'm going to open up one of the, hang on just a minute. Oops. Yeah, let's see one. So I'm going to open up on one of the more popular traded futures. It's the E-mini S&P. This one that has the most volume on it. And you can see the color codes. So like right here, this last entry would have been a long entry. We had a very strong bullish on there. And now you're on a very strong bullish right now on your current candlestick. But you know, back here, like you were neutral a little bit. You were in like a neutral bearish. So if you want to actually look back, kind of do a little bit of back testing, you can go back here with your commentary window and you just click above the candlestick and it will reload the commentary window, this over here, and you can see what signal it was giving you, and it'll go through the complete explanation. Like right here, this one's neutral to bullish, and the stock is called Eversource Energy, but it's a neutral bullish, indicating that we are likely to move lower. So when you have a neutral bullish or a neutral bearish, it means that it's more than likely is going to keep going down or keep going up. And then, like I said, this can indicate that Eversource Energy will continue to move lower. Watch for signs of Eversource Energy maybe losing energy and moving back to neutral. So you just kind of want to watch for it. I mean, at that point, sometimes you may want to just get out and wait for another new signal if you're short or if you're long or whatever it is. But then you can come over here and I'll just click on the L trail. This is your stop loss indication. So you go, the bullish golden bar, Eversource is currently pulling back from the bullish extreme, presenting a golden bar. This indicates a pullback, typically after a strong bullish move. When encountering a golden bar, try to assess whether it's a temporary pullback or if it is going to signaling the end of the current run. So it could be the end of its current run right here. And in this case, it actually was, because right at the very next candlestick, it had you get out of the trade. So, but that still would have been a really good trade. And the other thing too, a lot of people always ask me to do this during my webinars, look at different time frames. So let's go in and put in a 30-minute chart, which is what a lot of futures traders, intraday traders like to use. Hang on just 1 second for me. Okay. Just need to make sure there weren't any questions from the GoToWebinar room. So again, it's really a similar situation. You got your signal right here to get into the trade, and this has been really bullish for a while. So right now it's put I'm in a strong bullish position, so definitely a really good entry. Get in on the long part, and then you obviously just keep following the trend. And when it has these little gray candlesticks, those are extended bullish, meaning that it's going to continue to go up. So at this point, if I was trading the E-mini S&P, and this is a 30-minute chart, that would have been a perfect move. So just to kind of goes to show that it works. Excuse me, I'm not on the E-mini S&P. I messed up on my symbol there. I apologize, everybody. There we go. That's better. But you kind of saw on that one as well how it works with both intraday or daily time frames. So this is where I want to be. This one is the E-mini S&P. Like I said, this is the one that has the most volume with it. So it's kind of like the lighter candlesticks area. It's not a huge strong bullish yet, but it's going from neutral to bullish, which typically will mean that the prices are going to keep going up. And then after a little while, you see them turn bright green. And that just means it's a strong bullish. It's going to continue to go up. I mean, it literally got you in on a perfect move. So you would have gotten in right here, which would have been yesterday, and it got you out right here, which is basically this morning. So you would have held that overnight. And as futures traders know, these obviously trade 24 hours. So that incorporates the night and the day session. So it definitely works with any market. So I always like to show that. Let's go ahead and just pop open a couple examples. I don't know if anybody has any any symbols they want me to look at. I'm more than happy to if you want me to. Or I'll just kind of keep picking the ones that I feel would be a good example. Greg, does anybody in the GoToWebinar room have any that they want to look at? Okay.
Yeah, Dave, we don't have any symbol requests. We do have some questions. Would you like me to
go ahead.
ask those? Or okay.
Nope, go ahead.
Sorry, now I have to find it. Yeah, Samit has asked several times if you can use MetaStock for chart patterns without using indicators, just seeing price action.
Yeah, I mean, you definitely can. I mean, it doesn't have built into it like a pattern recognizer, like an expert system that's going to show you the patterns. But there is, well, I take that back. There is one that is built into MetaStock. It's called candlesticks. It will identify candlestick patterns. If you just go into your expert, which is, I'm going to go ahead and click this guy with the hat here. Then if you scroll down until you see candlesticks, I'll just quickly do it and then we'll switch back. You just click attach and close. It'll put the candle patterns on there. It also will alert you when there's like a doji star, for example. We just barely got one like that. Let me change the background really quick though so you can see what I mean. It's got it at black, so let's change it to white. So if you look at this now, you'll see the different candle patterns that are on the chart. And it's just signaling when there's, for example, like the big black candle or the big white candle or doji star or whatever. That's all going to be part of MetaStock. You don't have to purchase an extra add-on, but if you want to look at, for example, bar patterns, there are 2 add-ons that you would need to purchase in order to look at bar patterns, because that's their partner basically add-ons that we've already created for our customers.
Dave, there is one more question if you'd like to take it. It's from Hrishikesh. Where'd it go? I don't know how you're going to answer this. It's fairly open, but I'd be interested to see how you're going to answer this. How much can be made in 3 years of trading? He mentions he's a beginner, and just curious.
It's a fair question, and it's a really good one too. Everybody's always curious when they start trading how quickly they can make money. And the answer, it's not really cut and dry. It's like, oh, you make 5,000 or 10,000 or whatever. It all depends on how big an account size you have, how much time you're going to be able to devote to trading. So, I mean, and like if you're going to be trading stocks or options or futures or Forex, it all just kind of depends on that. Because if I start with a $500 account, I'm going to probably be growing that pretty slowly. Over the next 3 years, I could probably increase that to 2,000, 3,000. It really just kind of depends. And you just really have to be smart with your money too. So if you can see that if you got into a bad trade, you really kind of want to protect yourself, especially when you're especially to use stop losses so you don't lose anything that you've made as well. That's kind of the best answer that I've got, because there's not really...
That was a great answer. That's all you have on this end for now. Just let me know when you're ready for more questions, and I'll...
No, if anybody has any symbols, just throw them out there. I'm just going to keep picking what I think are good. So this is a Forex one. Like I said, I like to show all markets because I don't like to just stick with stocks or just do options. I want to show that this can work for any market and any time frame. So again, if you could just come back right now, you're just neutral. You're not anything right now. You had your last little run right here, which you would have gotten out. But if we go back to here, we had a long entry, and this is the euro versus the US dollar. So we got in, and I'm on an hourly chart. So back on 10.5, we had an entry at 1.173, and I don't trade Forex, so pardon me if I'm messing up on kind of the pricing and things like that. So then you just kind of follow the trend, and this is how Thomas explains it too in his class. The trend is your friend, and it really is true. You have to really pay attention to it and understand how it works, but it really is your friend. If it's going in the right direction, then you know that you should be in the trade or stay in the trade. So in this particular example, back on 10.5, I would have gotten in because I had a long entry and literally would have stayed in. And you can see how bright the chart is, which means it's a very strong bullish trade, which tells us that that's going to keep going for quite some time until you actually got this trailing stop, I'm going to go ahead and put the cursor on that. And again, I already read this to everybody before, so I don't need to keep reading it again. But basically, that just identifies a stop. The prices could be going lower, but they may also go back up. So you kind of want to put some caution there. Sometimes when I've used it, if I get a yellow candlestick or a bar, whatever you're using, I'll sometimes get out of the trade just because I kind of see where it's going. I usually will wait until the next candlestick to decide if I'm going to get out of that trade or not. But I'm kind of more on the conservative level, unless the very next candlestick is really extremely high versus the previous one, then I'll stay in the trade. But typically, like in this case, I probably would have stayed in for a little bit until about right there, and then I would have gotten out. And I wouldn't have lost, or not lost, but I wouldn't have given back a lot of money to the market anyway, because I mean, it went up a little bit and then came back down. My exit would have been right here. So even if I had stayed in, I only would have been right there versus down here. So it's not like I lost anything by getting out. If this were me, I'm just giving you a hypothetical. Again, I don't trade Forex. So let's go ahead and just open up some other ones. Let's open up Amazon. It's always a good one. A lot of people like to trade options on this one just because the price of it is so expensive. Oh, I can't believe it's now trading at 3,000. That is crazy. So let's kind of zoomed in a little too much. So here we go. Let's just go off our last little trade that we had here. So we would have been out. We got out on a short exit here. And Amazon's kind of all over the place lately. So just have to wait for it to load. Okay, so we've just gone from a neutral to a bullish trade. We have a long entry, which definitely changed from just and I'm trying to remember how he calls it. It's neutral bullish. So we started out on a neutral bullish because you just moved from neutral to bullish. So your first few candlestick or bars are going to be neutral. They're going to be that light green color, kind of like a soft green, and then it turns to bright, as you see right here. Right as soon as it hits that bright section, that's a very strong bullish, which means the prices are going to keep going up in your favor. So in this case, and you haven't gotten any trailing stops or any signals like that yet. Again, it would definitely, excuse me, I'm trying to word this right. When you don't have any trailing stops or anything like that, you kind of just want to trust the trend. It's going to keep going in the right direction for you. Obviously, if it starts to turn south, then you definitely would want to put your stop in. But right now, this is a pretty safe symbol to be trading. If you're doing an option, you could definitely place some calls on there. So, but yeah, so I always like to show that, and I know I'm kind of fumbling over my words, so I do apologize. And I wanted to show there's another part of this program that I really like, and it's the scanning functionality. For those of you that don't use MetaStock or aren't MetaStock users right now, it's our Explorer program, and that will actually give you the results. It'll scan based on the conditions of the the MQ Trender Pro, and give you the results. So this is all that comes with the add-on, just so you can kind of see. I'll just run through this really quick. I'm not going to go through and read everything, but basically you've got, like I've already kind of said, you've got your new bull long entry, your surge, your breakout, and these are your explorations, So you can search for long signals, you can search for short signals. You've got the expert advisor color coding, and I already went through all that. But yeah, and then you've got your different indicators, and these indicators are the ones before they started to use MetaStock. These are the ones that they had created for their classes and their teaching trading rooms. So okay, so this actually has a lot of different conditions that's built into it. I'm going to actually open up the Explorer, and I'm going to go over to show you where they are. So it has a lot of different conditions and a lot of different options that you can choose from. You can go to, you can use the bear new, the bear surge, the breakout, the breakout 5 and 10, and I actually have not used those two, so I'm not 100% sure what the 10 and the 5 mean. And I wonder if they don't have any description on there, so I apologize for that. But I definitely can find out if you are curious what that means. The ones that I use are the new long and the new short. So these are the two that I've just ran, and I ran it before the webinar because it does take a little bit of time for it to run, just because it's got so many different indicators, momentum indicators in the background that it's using in order to get your signals. So the way you do it, you just go in and click on the one that I ran before the class was the long positions, because that's the type of trading that I usually do. So I just go right here and check the MQ Trender Pro 2, bull new long entry. And then I'll come over here and I'll choose the list that I want. And in this case, I just did NASDAQ. And there's 3,400 symbols, so I didn't want to make you guys wait forever while it's running, so I could spend more time in the charting aspect of it. And then once it runs, I'll run one here in just a minute that's a lot shorter, but you could see how long it took because of all the conditions that are built into it. It took 29 minutes in order to run that. Most of the scans inside of MetaStock, like if you were scanning for candle patterns, they won't take very long. I'll show you how long they typically take. So these are all the ones that have come up on the long entry. So I've got, let me just make these a little bit bigger. Okay, so I've got 21 Vanad, ACI worldwide, etc. So let's go ahead and just open one of these. And actually, this brings up a good point. I want to show you a lot of different things that I like to do. So instead of me going through and like clicking one by one, or going back to the report and reopening this, and then I'd have to double click to open up the one that I wanted. So I can do a couple things here. I can say, okay, I want to open up these top two right here. So then I can just press down my shift key and I can highlight those. And then I just come over here. I can either press enter on my keyboard, or I just come in here and do open chart. And that'll open both of them. It's going to open with my default template, which is just a white background with candlesticks. So I've got to go back and reapply the MQ Trender Pro. But let's go in and zoom in real quick, do apply template, go down to the M's, and let's do the white one. I always do the black one. I haven't done the white one for a while, so let's go ahead and put that one in there. And you can see how it takes a little bit of time to load, and it's just because they've got so many different conditions and a lot of different calculations in the background. So yeah, you can see I got a long entry because, I've gotten a long entry when I would run that scan on this particular chart. This is ACI worldwide. I haven't ever traded it. But so you've gotten a new long entry, so you could go in and basically, I like to do this, and I'm not giving you any advice or anything like that. When I get a signal, if I'm just looking at a daily chart, what I like to do is I wait for the next candlestick to be above the previous candlestick's high. So as long as the high of this next candlestick that's going to come in tomorrow, if it's higher than the current one, then that's when I put my limit order in. So I'll stick my limit order in. Let's just see what the high is here. In this case, I would put my limit order in at $30, and then get in. Once it hits that, it would get me into the trade automatically. So that's just one of the things that I like to do. But you can see how good this does. I mean, here's another one, a really good example. Let's just go back here, and we'll go over to that short entry. And this one, you're going to neutral to bearish, and so that usually will identify or indicate that the prices are going to be falling, and they did. You got your short entry, and it just kind of rode that trend all the way down. And if you followed this to a T and didn't, get out during one of these like trailing stops right here, then you would have stayed in the trade until right here. But I mean, and this is kind of the question that I was answering earlier. It really just kind of depends on how comfortable you are. If you get in right here at this where the short entry was, and then you start to get your golden bar, and you just kind of feel like, I'm still kind of getting new to this. I made some money, so I'm just going to get out. And you could have literally gotten out right here and immediately gotten right back into the trade right here because it just kept going down. You just follow that trend. Just like Thomas says, the trend is your friend. And yeah, like I said, it's just something it's a really neat little add-on. So let's go ahead and we're going to go ahead and close that one. Okay, so inside MetaStock, I just want to show one thing really quick. So let's go back over to our Power Console, and up here at the very top, I can come over here and let's say if I just want to open up the Forecaster or the Explorer, I can just click here and it opens up the Power Console and automatically puts me on the Explorer tab. But the other thing that the Power Console does, if you close it and you're on the Explorer tab, it'll keep it right there where you left off, or if I was on the Chart tab or the Quote Center or whatever. So then I'm going to actually run a scan for you, and I'll show you how it works with other types of different systems inside of MetaStock as well. So if you come over here, we'll choose the MQ Trender Pro, and I'm not going to choose a very big list just because of how long it can take. So I'm just going to do, I want one that's either 100 or a little bit more. So here's the U.S. energy sector. And again, because it does have a lot of conditions that it needs to meet, or the criteria is actually pretty complex on how it calculates everything. I may not get any results, but I just wanted to at least show you how it works. And in order for me to do that, I've actually got to close the exploration window. So now I'll come over here and I'm just going to do a scan on the energy sector, the US energy sector, excuse me. So I've chosen the MQ Trender Pro new long buy. And then I'm going to choose the US sector energy. So I just have both of those checked. And then we'll start that exploration. And this is, I believe I'm using local data. So yeah, we're going to do that one. So you can see how slow it goes. And I'm going to show you one thing that I like to do with it. I actually like to do the price and volume scans that I've created. And that's a really good point that I like to bring up every time that I do these webinars is you don't have to, you know, the add-ons are really great. And I really, really like this add-on. I think it's a really good one. But if you have your own ideas on what you want to do and how you want to trade, maybe you want to compile, like, for example, when a 15 period moving average goes above a 35 period moving average, give me a buy signal, or vice versa, give me a sell signal. And those are the kinds of things that you can do inside of MetaStock as well. You don't have to follow one particular indicator. If you see that you like this add-on, you can definitely purchase it and use it with your own trading method. But what I like to do, and I tell everybody this, I don't ever rely 100% on one indicator. And that's kind of why I like the MQ Trender Pro, because it has a lot of different indicators that it's using in the background. And it's just kind of really nice to have them all in one little package. So, like I said, as you can see, oh, go ahead.
Dave, I'm sorry. This might also be a good time to remind people that you're transmitting video and audio from your computer, and that always bogs down the processor. That's an experience we always have when we do these demonstrations.
That's true. Yep.
So
I forgot to
it's not necessarily going to go that slow. And also, no more questions on the YouTube side, but Samit said thank you very much for asking the question about, or answering the question about indicators, price action.
Awesome. Yeah, no problem. I mean, if he has another one, then I'm more than happy to answer it, of course. But yeah, I forget that when I'm streaming, doing live streams, it does bog down MetaStock quite a bit. And also on top of that, I've got other Google or Chrome tabs open too. So that's obviously part of the reason. But it typically will not go this slow. And as I was afraid, it looks like it is rejecting all of them. But, you know, I mean, it's not going to find all of the trades all the time. And it's not a perfect system, just like I always tell everybody. That's why it's really good to confirm it with your own export or your own indicators too. Well, I actually did get one, so that's good. So this one is symbol XEC, Cimerex Energy, it looks like. So we'll double click to open it. And then I'm going to go ahead and just close this window. One thing I do want to show you as well is, I know it's probably getting a little annoying for everybody that I have to right click, apply template every time, and then change the candlesticks every time. Let's go back to black. So I'm going to show you one thing. We can save this as my default. So now each time I don't have to keep opening up the add-on, or sorry, the apply template screen and then reapplying it each time and changing it to candlesticks. So I'm actually going to do this. So let's change this back over to candlesticks. I like those a little more. Then you'll right click on the chart and do save as default template. Say replace existing. And then what I'm going to do, I'm going to do close all. you'll get this little neat pop-up that'll ask you if you want to close all your charts or if you want to save them all, whatnot. So then you just click no to all, and that goes, excuse me, that will go ahead and close all of my charts. And then what I want to do is I want to delete what we call the smart charts. So I'll do File, Delete Smart Charts. What this does is it takes my default template away and replaces it. And now each time, it doesn't replace it, sorry. Now each time that I go to open up a new chart, or any chart for that matter, it'll open up with the MQ Trender Pro and in candlesticks. So let's go ahead and just test it out. So we come up over here to chart, and let's just open up the diamond. So there you go. It's got candlesticks and it's got my MQ Trender Pro applied. And I can go back and change this as much as I want too. So let's say I want to, okay, well, I want to apply an indicator. So you come up here, I kind of did that too quickly. You come up here and you just click on the indicator quick list. And then you're going to scroll down and find the one that you want. Maybe you want to put this momentum indicator on your chart. So we'll just go in and drag and drop it. And the way I'm doing that is I'm actually, hang on just a second. It takes it a second. And again, it's probably partly because I'm streaming. So then you just click OK. And we'll display and just go on left. And now you have your indicator on there. So let's say you want to save this as your default. You just right click and do save as default template. I'm not going to do it because I don't want it to change. And then do the same operation that I did before. So, and inside of MetaStock, that's actually, a really good point. We can come over here. Let's say I want to scan on, oh, what I was going to do is I'm going to show you how you can scan. I'm going to take this off really quick. Before I go into that next topic that I was going to talk about, I need to go through this last little signal that we got here, because this one actually came up as a buy entry. So we had an entry signal here on the 7th, and it went from a neutral to bearish, excuse me, I'm thinking neutral to bullish, and then it immediately already had bright candlesticks here. So this is a very strong bullish position, and this is the spider diamond. The diamond, excuse me, the Dow diamond. And right now you're still currently in the trade, and if you kind of look here in the history, it has done a really, really good job. This is on an hourly chart. If we switch this back over to daily, let's kind of see how it did with the daily. And I didn't run this on a scan. I just did this as one of the charts that I wanted to open up. But right now I'm currently getting a new long entry. And basically now that's up to me and my choice, my decision when I want to get into the trade. So if it were me and I'm using my own rule of thumb, I'll get it on the previous candlestick's high. Or sorry, if it goes above the current candlestick's high, then I'll get in and I'll put my limited order in that way with my TD account. So, and now I'm trying to, sorry, I'm trying to think what I was, oh yeah. So inside the Explorer, let's just come back over here. We'll click on the little binocular guy. I want to show that I like to run price scans a lot as well, because, when you're a new trader, let's give an example. Like maybe you're only going to start at like $500 with your trading account. Well, you probably aren't going to go and try and trade something that's $200. You're wrapping up more than 50% of your entire capital. So you're going to want to start small. You really only want to, and I actually listened to a podcast and they actually talk quite a bit about this, that you should only be trading 6% of your entire account. So what I like to do and what I've done is I've actually created a couple scans that are all based on price and volume. And inside of MetaStock, you have this favorites folder that you can put your favorite explorations, and then you have this other one, this one that's all explorations. And all I have to do is just click on the little arrow, I guess you want to call it, and it'll expand it or compress it. So we'll just open up my favorites folder, and I'm going to come over here to, I think it might actually be this one. And I am actually going to change this. I'm going to do price between 5 and 25. Actually, I'm going to lower that to 20. Okay. So now, come back over here, and then we'll just check that one. Come on, there you go. And then let's run my scan on the S&P 500. So I'm going to uncheck this one, and we'll go ahead and just click on the S&P 500 one. There's actually 505 stocks in there. And then we'll click on Start Exploration. We've got, and then if you just want to kind of review it right here, you've got the 25 and above. I'm running this on daily data because I'm using just the local data that I've downloaded. And that brings up a really good point as well. For those of you that are using MetaStock and may not know about that option, in our newer versions of MetaStock, you actually can download your data, so your scans or your charts will run a lot faster, and you don't always have to stay connected to the internet too. So if you just are in, maybe you have not the greatest internet connection and you're living out in maybe the boonies and need to not have, or you don't always want to be connected to the internet, that actually serves a really good purpose. Or if maybe you're on a plane and you don't want to pay for their internet, you want to still do your charting, you can download your data and still use the charts while you're flying, or whatever the case is. Just like to bring up that point. So we'll go ahead and start the exploration. I'm going to use local instruments, and then I'm going to click OK. And you can see how much quicker it goes when I'm not using the MQ Trender Pro. Like I said, the reason why it does go a lot slower with that one is because it does have a lot of different conditions that it has to meet in order for it to give you those results. So all I did on this one, it's almost done here. All I did on this one is I scanned on prices that are between $5 and $20, and anything that has a volume over 500,000. I can come over here and change these. I mean, these are not complicated formulas. They're really, really easy to write. Obviously, it's just greater than 5 and anything that is less than 20, so up to $19, and anything that has 500,000 or more in volume. So pretty easy to do. And anything that has a 1 means that it met that criteria. So let's just pick one. Let's just do CenturyLink met the criteria. So let's go and open that one up on the chart. And now that I did that price scan, I can go in and open up the MQ Trender Pro. And the thing that's also really nice, let me make this point as well, is I could run my price scan and immediately take those results and run the MQ Trender Pro. Tell me which out of this list has met that criteria. For right now, I'm not going to run that because we only have about 15 minutes left, and I kind of want to go over some other things. But this one gave us a long entry right here. We're still in that bullish, that strong bullish area. So that's why it came up. Oh, I'm sorry, I didn't run this one on MQ Trender. Sorry, brain's all over the place today. So this would have been a good one. You know, it's only trading at $11. I did actually get a long entry a couple days ago. So, you know, it's safe to say that the prices are still going to continue to go up. Obviously, it's up to me if I want to take that trade or not. In this particular situation, I probably would wait, but you know, you obviously can be as aggressive as you definitely want to. So let's go in and close this one out. The other thing I like to do, or I want to show you, is inside MetaStock you have, once I've done the exploration, I don't have to come back and reopen it each time. What I could do, I could just save this list. So I can just highlight the whole list and then right click, and I'll do add to custom list. And then I'll come over here to create new, I'll do MQ Pro class, click on create and click OK. Now I can close this, and I'm going to close the charts as well. So then I can come back over here, and if I want to just apply the MQ Trender to all of those that I ran on the scan, I just come over here. Where are you? There he is. So I can go in here and then just expand it out and check the first box. So right now I'm going to open up American Airlines, and I'll click on open chart, and it's going to open with my MQ Trender automatically, and it's going to open up with my candlesticks. So then I could just scroll through each of these individually. It's like, okay, well, that one doesn't have any signals right now. And then I can come over here and click on next instrument, these little right and left arrows, or I could just hold down my Alt key on my keyboard and just use the right or the left arrow, and it'll just move me to the next symbol in my list. So this one is AES Corporation. Let's see, do I have any long entries? Well, I did have one a couple days ago. This one actually is still in a strong bullish position, so I definitely could get in on this one if I really wanted to. I'm just going to check a couple of these. So it's just another thing that you can do inside of MetaStock. And like I said, if you just get MetaStock purely for the charting analysis, you can do this. You can create your different lists. You can come over in the Power Console. You can open up, hey, maybe you want to open up this list and kind of sort them on everything. So I can come over here and click on Quote Center and monitor my stocks that way. So I'm actually gonna open up. Let's just open up the S&P 500. And I don't want to open up all of them, so I'm going to come over here and highlight those, remove those instruments, and then I'll just open up the rest. And this is our Quote Center app. This is something that I actually forget that we have it. I keep forgetting to use it versus the list manager, but you can do it either way. So because I've got my default template set, anytime that I want to open up a chart from here, which I can just double click it, and then it'll open it up with the MQ Trender Pro. Sorry, it's taking a little bit of time. I can leave that while it's loading.
Hey, Dave.
Yep.
I'm sorry, is this a good time?
Go ahead. Yeah, go ahead.
So, yeah, while you're waiting for that to load, somebody did mention that they're from India and that we often don't come live to India because we generally broadcast in the United States in U.S. time. And this is probably a good time to point out that we do have summits. I think I mentioned one before the show. We specifically have an APAC summit we do every quarter that's done during Asian hours, and but we will take note and pass it along to management that maybe doing some webinars earlier in the morning, even on our time, could help people in Southeast Asia. That's all, Dave.
I think that would be definitely a good idea. I like to do it during this time. I mean, I basically can choose the time slot, and I use it because most of the time that people are watching, they're from the United States or North America. Sometimes I try to hit the time zones that I feel people are going to be watching the most. So, if we're not hitting it on the time that you want it, that is convenient for you, then we can always go through the recording as well. So that's another point. But yeah, no, we definitely should do some more webinars according to everybody's time zone and make it more convenient.
Well, and this is a good time to remind people that this is being recorded right now on YouTube, and if you want to watch it on YouTube, just rewind. If you're on YouTube now, all you have to do is rewind it. You can just watch it anytime. And we do share this link with anybody that registered on GoToWebinar. That'll be in the email that they get after this. Okay, Dave, it's all yours.
Right. All right. Okay. So it's kind of being funky. So I'm actually going to go back over to my webinar, or sorry, my PowerPoint. So I just went through everything that you've got inside of MQ Trender Pro. Like I said, you got your bearish, your bullish expirations, got 4 different indicators, same exact indicators that they use in their trading rooms. And then you've got your expert advisor colors and symbols and everything like that. So I don't need to go through this, but these are the templates that you get. And when you see the you'll have like a D, a W, and M. That just means monthly, weekly, and daily, and the color is going to show you the color of the background. So the one thing that I wanted to talk about is how the price. If you want to pick it up, if you're a MetaStock user or you just want to try out MetaStock as well, and you want to add this to it, they normally charge $14.95 as a one-time cost, but instead of the $9.95 for those that actually attend the webinar, I'm going to do it for $7.99. I got the okay that would be okay to do for those that attended the webinar or even watch the recording. And the only thing you have to do is just give me a call. My contact number is right there. And again, if you want, you can either call me or you can email me or you can chat with me. If you come into our chat, just ask for Dave. I'm the only Dave in sales. And here's all of my contact information as well. So, and I think that is all I've got for everybody, unless there are any other questions that I can answer. If you want me to pop open any other symbols or anything like that with the MQ Trender, we have about 10 minutes left, so I'll leave it if anybody has any questions.
Right now, Dave, there are no questions, but you could always open up the company favorite. Okay, my favorite. RCL.
Which one is it?
It's RCL. It's kind of a running joke here. I have when we want to be completely transparent, I have an open position in RCL, so I just like to get the guys to look at it. And it's a Royal Caribbean, and of course, this is always a fun time to watch things like Royal Caribbean because,
because they've lost so much momentum.
Yeah.
They've actually recovered quite a bit, though. See if you came
Well,
over
and I'd
here.
like to point out, I bought it at the low, but out of sheer luck. It was not out of analysis. I think my wife tipped me to do
Thanks
it.
a lot, Greg.
Yeah, I'm just saying.
I'm just kidding.
I wish I could say. I mean, you can see right there. It would have. It told you to get in.
Oh yeah.
But I didn't look at that. In fact, I got in right about where that green arrow is.
Yeah. No, I mean look at this. It actually did perfect right here. Here, I'm gonna open it up on the bigger view here. So it also, if you're curious, if it called the trade, if you were shorting it when everything just went way down once the virus hit. Virus hit the United States about right here. It's when things started to kind of turn sour in January, and you basically could have ridden that entire thing down all the way. That would have been a great move. So as you can tell, this works with any type of trading. It works with short term, long term. You know, if you see those big moves like that, or just those medium moves, if you're a quick options trader, this would work very well at the same time. So, but you can see how well it did with this. I mean, Royal Caribbean's obviously having some hard times, but it still is a good one to be trading, especially with the MQ Trender Pro, because right here it would have made some money right there. You know, if you're doing shorts, it's going to do that as well. Right now you would be up. You'd still actually, no, you would have been out of this trade if you got in right here, which would have been August 11th, and then you would have stayed in until the 21st of September. So it's great for those long, large moves, and however long you want to stay in the trade is obviously up to you. But at this point, if you were trading it using the MQ Trender Pro, you would have been out of the trade by now.
Well, I just flashed up the fine print. This is a good time to remind people we're not telling you to buy or sell. This is just a demonstration of our product.
Right.
Especially on your wife's tips. This one's worked out pretty good. I'll do credit to my wife. So, but then there's no more questions for you, Dave. So whenever you're ready.
What? Say it again.
I said there's no more questions. Everyone's being apparently quite enthralled and engaged, but not asking questions.
Okay. Well, I'll just close things out. But like I said, if you do want to purchase the add-on or have questions or even want to try out MetaStock, give me a call. I'm more than happy to help you out. I'll pop up my contact again here real quick. But yeah, you can definitely get in touch with me if you have any questions. If you're a current user and want to get the add-on on your account, definitely give me a ring. And like I said, I'll give you the special promotion. Do appreciate everybody joining us today, and hope everybody enjoys the rest of their day and have a great weekend.
Thank you, David. Thanks so much.
Yeah, you're welcome. See you later.